Family, greetings, one love. Eddie Murphy, you must attend this barbecue, my brother. I didn't want to do it. Family, I watched Eddie Murphy's return to SNL last night, and I must say, it did my heart well to see Eddie Murphy reprise many of his iconic roles on the show, from the likes of Buckwheat to Gumby. You know, basically, he did his characteristic humor, his antics and what have you. I found that in some ways his appearance was funny. I was glad to see he did the monologue and invited Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, who was not like himself. Um, I saw Keenan Thompson, he jumped in the shot. He wanted to be a part of that historic moment. Um, it was good to see him return to the show, but I must put my brother on trial here today because I believe Eddie Murphy is bigger than SNL. I believe Eddie Murphy doesn't need SNL to bolster his career. I know that he is on his current comeback into stand up comedy, so this would have been a likely venue for him to touch down. But did Lorne Michaels use our brother to set race relations back 50 years? Alright, did Lorne Michaels use Eddie Murphy to erode the image and the self respect that black people have managed to gain over the last few decades? Because I've seen Eddie Murphy do many types of other films. He's gotten into, a different type of dialogue. If you see his recent appearances, he seems like a very balanced individual, very thoughtful individual. So I was awestruck to see that our brother allowed them to use him to talk about the standard black stereotypes. All right, there were a couple of people on the show named Tyrone who had like some wild hairstyles. Um, he had one particular skit called Black Jeopardy, where I guess he's playing like a telemarketer pimp, right? He's like a telemarketer pimp with a blonde wig on, and he's basically introducing these novels, and each of the novels that he's selling while he gives his responses to the questions, each of the novels has the word hoe. How to be a hoe, or hoes for cash, all kinds of different names that basically indicate that he is convincing women to sell themselves, right? And I just found it to be strange that in each of the skits, the same negative stereotypes are being used, and it's racial humor, a lot of racial humor, right? SNL jokes are either neutral or black jokes. I don't understand it. Like, there's no other race or nationality who has their own specific jokes, in a particular skit. It's almost as if talking about the black experience is a joke in itself. Once you say something racially specific about black people, that I guess is a joke on Saturday Night Live. But Eddie Murphy participated in a minstrel show that he really didn't need to do. Family, I didn't appreciate it. I don't believe many of his fans appreciated it. I think all in all, he was funny, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention the aspects of this production that were less than redeeming. Our brother is already rich, all right? He doesn't need to portray himself in that way, all right? And even if you're not rich, you shouldn't have to compromise your integrity, all right? because a lot of those shows, when he did the buckwheat, when we consider it, this was actually the way they used Eddie Murphy historically on SNL, right? It's just that right now times are very politically correct and more advanced. And so the things that we used to find hilarious, we looking back and saying, wow, man, we took a L. We were the butt of the joke. So let's not allow ourselves to be that again. I believe our brother needs to reprise his role in a more progressive way. Now, in some ways, like with the Mr. Robinson neighborhood sketch, that was funny. He managed to talk about gentrification, squatters' rights. So it wasn't all in all a Coon show. He did manage to slip in a few jabs, perhaps because Dave Chappelle was there. I don't know if they collaborated. Family, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about all these dynamics. One love.